What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our Pac-12 football channel. All right, we've shown you the 2020 schedule for the Washington Huskies. Now we're going to give you our projected record based off of that schedule. This is not a prediction, not an official prediction from us, simply a projection based on their odds to win each game, based on what I think Vegas would kind of do with each of these games on the schedule. And again, we're going to assume that Washington's going to be a good team this year based on the talent they have on the roster and just kind of their pedigree in the Pac-12. Maybe it doesn't work out that way, but I believe they still will be one of the top teams in this conference. This is the scale that we'll be using. 99%, those will be green games where Washington absolutely should win. They're going to be 20-plus point favorites. You got your 80% games. Those are games where Washington's going to be favored by double digits and should not lose. And the 60% games are games where they're going to be favored, but it's not going to be a huge margin. We're talking about a touchdown somewhere in that range. And then your 50-50 games, those are games that could go either way. Games where I think the spread's going to be closer to a field goal. So we got one 99% game for Washington. That's Sacramento State. I think the Huskies will win that game and will win that game easily. That's the only real gimme on the schedule. So we're going to give them a green there and say that they beat Sacramento State. But when we do our projection here at the end, actually the 80% and 99% games, all of those games will get counted as wins. And we've got three 80% games here on the schedule as well. Utah State, a pretty good group of 5 team, but Washington should be able to take care of business there. Oregon State, I know last year they surprised some people, were a little bit better than we thought. But I kind of expect them to drop back down. They lose some talent from last year. That game might be closer to 75%, but for this, we're going to go with 80%. Then Colorado, I think, probably going to be the bottom team in the Pac-12 this year. I think Washington at home should have absolutely no problem in that game. Will it be a 40, 30-point game? No, but I think they will win at least by double digits. So I think, and Vegas, I think, will agree with that. So we're going to go with Washington over Colorado, Oregon State, and Utah State. Now we've got the next games. These are going to be the 60% games that Washington should probably be favored in by around a touchdown, 6, 7, 8, 9 points, somewhere in there. I think Arizona's maybe more like a 65, 70% game if you really look at it, but we only have these margins that we're using here. So we're going to say Arizona's in there. Stanford, maybe they'll be a little bit better this year, but Washington at home, they're still going to be favored, I think, in that game by at least a touchdown. So we'll say more than likely, again, Huskies favored there. And then Washington State, they should be favored by a decent amount there as well. So Arizona, Stanford, and Washington State, games that aren't easy wins for Washington in my opinion, but I do think that they will be clear favorites in all 3 of those games. And these are all the games that they will be favored in our opinion. So now we're going to go to the games where they're going to be an underdog. And you've only got one of those. You've got the game against Oregon. I've got Washington with about a 40% chance to win that game. Oregon, I think, is the better team. They're going to have more talent. The game is on the road, which will also make it tough for Washington. So we're going to go 40% on that game. I think the Ducks will be favored by about a touchdown. And, who knows? Oregon's got a lot of talent. This could wind up being an even tougher game than that for Washington. Washington, a team that we really don't know what to expect, especially offensively, what we're going to get this year. A lot of new faces on that side of the ball, new coaching staff, so that's going to be interesting. And then you've got Utah, Cal, and USC, the 3 swing games for Washington. The bad news is they're all on the road. Utah on the road, Cal on the road, USC on the road. I think Washington's going to be a slight favorite against Utah, maybe a slight favorite against Cal, maybe a slight underdog against USC. But I think the margin will be around a field goal for all 3 of these games. And again, these are games that could go either way. So when you average the numbers out, again, giving them wins on the blue and green games, no losses, no guaranteed losses here. So you just average out the rest of those games. And the projected record for Washington comes out to be 8-4. I think that's a pretty good projection. Maybe it could go up 1 game, maybe even down 1 game. If they do lose to Oregon and then they split Utah, Cal, USC, and then they lose one of those games, then lose one of the 60% games or 2 of the 50% games, it's 9-3, definitely a possibility. But our projection based off of the averages, based off of these percentages, is 8-4 for Washington. What do all of you think about this Washington team? What do you think their record will be in 2020? Well, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.